literature coming from a variety of cultural backgrounds, African literature, Chinese literature, and also Indian literature coming together will really form a huge transdisciplinary research program that has to grow itself from philosophy, politics, and a number of the entire gamut of humanities and social sciences. Similarly, we can have interdisciplinary disciplines combining human, social sciences, and natural sciences as well. A program such as cognitive sciences, which can study social behavior, which can study ideas of collective action, which can also study how a society tries to immunize itself from certain perceived danger. So you can have a transdisciplinary research program built around and knitted together by a certain number of participants who are coming from a variety of disciplinary backgrounds. But where is the space of all this in Indian universities? The space can be opened up provided we are open to ideas that are coming from all directions. Ideas that are created in many of the Western universities. I'm not saying we have to imitate them, but I'm saying let us initiate a process of learning from elsewhere, from distant shores. And if we start doing that, then our own horizon opens up and we start seeing our own problems in a better light. We start reorienting and reformulating our own problems. मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि अभी यदि हम वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड में क्या हो रहा है इसके प्रति ध्यान दें, तो हमारे अपने समस्याओं और इशू में हमारे देखने का तरीका भी संपूर्ण चेंज हो सकते हैं. और ऐसा यदि कोई ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव प्रोसेस हमारे बीच चालू होते हैं, तब हम ये जो गैप तैयार हुआ है वेस्ट का साथ, ये गैप को मीट कर सकते हैं और नए तरीका से हमारे डिसिप्लिन को डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. नए रिसर्च प्रोग्राम हम ला सकते हैं जिसमें सभी लोग अपना जो स्पेशलाइजेशन है उसी से कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं और सभी को मिला के बहुत सारे डायलॉग के बाद एक बड़ा ट्रांसडिसिप्लिनरी रिसर्च प्रोग्राम तैयार हो सकते हैं. लेकिन इसी प्रोसेस को इनिशिएट करना पड़ेगा. इसी प्रोसेस को स्टार्ट करने के लिए ये जो सिंपोजियम आज के है ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण एक कदम यहाँ पे उठाए गए हैं. मैं ये उम्मीद रखता हूँ कि इसी सिंपोजियम से जो हमारे डिस्कशन हुए हैं उसके आधार पे हम कुछ लेखन तैयार करें और एक साथ उसको रख के हम एक वॉल्यूम में करें और उसको फर्दर परस्यू करें ताकि we can really emerge at some interdisciplinary disciplines and we can open up the field of transdisciplinary research. ये हमारे लिए आज इस समय का हिंदुस्तान के लिए सबसे बड़े चैलेंज है. तो ये चैलेंज निभाने के लिए सभी का भागीदारी बहुत ही जरूरी है और इसी कारण जो कदम हमको लेना पड़ेगा वो लेने में हमारे सबका सम्मति होना चाहिए और सबको इस पे आगे बढ़ के आना चाहिए. धन्यवाद. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Professor Biswas. Wonderful and beautifully.
So I am struggling with the same question that even within the discipline we are not able to bridge the gap because it has referred about the different communities of the India. But after 70 years of independence, like in the Uttar Pradesh, I know about few of the communities, Musaras, in Rajasthan, Gujars, they are still trying to claim that they belong to the scheduled tribes. But neither we are referring to those volumes which have, I think, probably consumed a lot of time and money and everything, human resource also. But neither we are referring to those volumes for including them in the tribal category, nor we are till today, we are not finding any solution. So, transdisciplinary, even within the discipline, we are struggling these types of issues.
Anyone else, please? Yes.
On Indian conditions. Can Western philosophy, Western development models have solutions about Indian problems? Like in the case of structural adjustment programs implemented throughout the world as a sort of blanket prescription for all economies of the world.
Thank you. Yes. Or Musahars, or even Jats, or in Maharashtra, Marathas. And not only it's a matter of reservation in employment and education, but also it's a question of recognition and probably redistribution of the social wealth. Now, how to approach this problem can we approach it in an ethnographic manner by just creating a category? Even if we recreate a category of tribe, that's not going to sort out the problem, because there will be many more such tribes asking for a similar equity with them if we offer them one. So therefore, what is the way out? And that is a transdisciplinary research program. Now, the way People of India series was done based on some physical anthropological trait, and then giving it a kind of a culturalist twist in terms of how these communities perceive themselves, and then trying to somehow relate these physical traits with community's own perception, was probably methodologically unsound, in the sense that by the time the world has moved much ahead, if we look at the studies on Nimbokwara, or studies on Western Melanesia, or studies on Papua New Guinea, we would have seen the methodology of cultural anthropology has gone to a different level. It has gone to understanding expressions, language, and also the symbols and signifiers, etc. We have never done this from the Anthropological Survey of India, because study of symbols and language were thought to be always only at the social or the gross level. It was never thought to be something that influences the ideological, the mental, the psychological, and the holistic parameters of living a certain kind of life. So therefore, we need to change that methodology completely. Now, coming to your question about structural adjustment, structural adjustment is an economic program, was formulated by, as you know, Bretton Woods institutions. Now, how institutions work, and what is the institutional political economy of structural adjustment? On that, there were very few works across the world. Now, in India also, we had some major journals and some of the political economists, but they have also not focused on institutional political economy, thinking that political economy issues can be sorted out at the level of logic of appropriation and expropriation. They have not looked at the institutional processes and mechanisms. Why? The institutions were kept out of the sight by the disciplines themselves. There was no economics of institution that was ever studied in India. So, again, this is a disciplinary problem, and we need to lead this to a transdisciplinary research program. I think that would be a kind of solution.
Thank you. A lady called Helen Keller, she said that it is a terrible thing to have sight but no vision. A person working on interdisciplinary must have a vision. Without vision, please, what appears, if appearance was to coincide with reality, every intellectual discourse will become superfluous. There goes, जिन खोजा तिन पाइयां गहरे पानी पैठ, मैं बबरा डूबन डरा रहा किनारे बैठ. Errors like straw on the surface flow, one who in search of truth must die below. Are you ready to go from sight to vision? That is number one for interdisciplinarity. I will have my position on this later on. Second thing what Prof Prasenjit told is that we have had independent India. Yes, political power was transferred. Are we intellectually independent? We are mentally colonized. Ashish Nandi used to say, we are brown by skin but white by our brain. We have hired out, leased out our mind to somebody's idea. We are not telling somebody else's baby. You must develop your own methodology, you must develop your own idea. What is actually happening is that Western legitimacy is the determining factor. Whether you are right or wrong is not whether right or wrong. Whether it is right in the eyes of the Western filters or not, that is very, very important. What actually happening is that most of us are suffering from what is called self-impoverishment. You know, David Easton used to say, in the name of research, we are creating mountain heap of facts, a mole height of theory. There is no theory. In fact, I have no hesitation in telling, if Census of India stop publishing census volumes, if NSS will stop publishing NSS reports, Indian intellectual will not become DTC drivers. This is the fact. Like Hindus have a Kumbh every 10 years, Government of India publishes census facts and gives you fodder for 10 years research. Now, please get out of this. You are completely dependent upon the fact that government has failed in everything. In health, in education, in poverty education, but government has failed in creating data. Question that database. It is not exterior and interior, it is ulterior. Are you ready to accept that? Therefore, please, that is where one has to read. This is self-impoverishment. You yourself will not be interested in reading your article, just to brush your biodata, increase your API point, and that is your research all about. That is not the case. Other thing is that what Professor Prasenjit has done, he has got exposed to different realities of life. And I tell you, Gandhi became Gandhi, Buddha became Buddha, Christ became Christ, Nanak became Nanak, because they kept their touch with the reality. If you don't keep touch with reality, you will be just washed away by even a small puff of wind. That will be grounded to the reality. And that is where interdisciplinary cannot come through methods. It must come through practice. How closely you are linked up with the society. How closely you are linked up with the culture of society. I mean, in India, if you are modern, you must speak English. अंग्रेजी बोलने के बाद हम अपने आप सभ्य बन जाते हैं. Please, language does not make you सभ्य. आपके घर में पिज्जा डिलीवरी कर गया था, अरे बहुत सभ्य परिवार है. That is where one must do. Prasenjit is a living testimony of the fact that he has told that he has taught in so many institutions. Every time improvise his vision, and that's why he was able to do that. Thank you very much.
Memento. अभी लंच से पहले बहुत बढ़िया खाना है हमारा प्री लंच सेशन की लास्ट स्पीकर प्रोफेसर बारिक प्लीज कम ऑन द स्टेज जो इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन न्यू दिल्ली से आए हैं और वी सीनियर फेलो इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ सोशल साइंस रिसर्च में काम कर रहे हैं और प्रोफेसर आचार्य जो चेयर
to introduce to you Professor Barik, who has been some sort of a role model for me for a number of years, though we never met each other, and for a long time. And Professor Barik was a professor at the Indian Institute of Public Administration, New Delhi, and is now a senior fellow at the Indian Council of Social Science Research. And he has tons of works in different areas of Indian politics and policy. And his title for today's talk is Why Social Science Needs to be Interdisciplinary. So we look forward to his talk in order to, thread together that garland of interdisciplinary